Coming up on the Season 2 premiere of Here's the Truth.
I was called the N-word. We went through racial abuse. I have the recordings, I have the evidence.
Former 3M workers are accusing the company of racial and gender discrimination. Take a listen to the exclusive recordings they believe will win their case. And coming up, you'll meet the high school band that's becoming a main attraction at sporting events. Plus, you're in for a big surprise on this week's Joyride with Ashley Dubose. Here's the Truth starts right now. Thanks so much for joining us for Season 2 of Here's the Truth. I'm independent journalist Georgia Ford. We begin with several former 3M workers who are coming forward with allegations of racism and discrimination. For the first time, they're sharing their story along with exclusive audio recordings you'll only find right here. Now, we do want to warn you, this story contains sensitive content that some may find triggering.
There were two coworkers that came to my location, called me racial slurs, wanted to fight me, wanted to assault me.
A series of scathing accusations of threats, harassment, and assaults. What were some of those racial slurs?
They compared us to monkeys. They made statements like, I wish it was like back to the good old days.
Former 3M employee John Wingo is at the center of a lawsuit filed against the Minnesota-based company. He's calling out 3M for alleged racial and gender discrimination, as well as workplace retaliation.
In 2019, I was assaulted on the production floor in front of a supervisor.
Accusations former 3M employee John Wingo believes are backed by overwhelming evidence.
One of my supervisors told me, as long as you're not being called the N-word every day, what's the big deal? You know, so what?
What do you think it says about 3M's company culture?
Flat out, 3M does not care that we're being called racial slurs. It's a known fact. I was called the N-word. We went through racial abuse. I have the recordings, I have the evidence.
Evidence that he's sharing exclusively with us.
What was done did not work. Because obviously today, he's still doing it.
John,
yeah, but
let me talk to Crew John.
Yes, sir.
I'm tired of you saying everything that we didn't do.
Yes, sir.
I'm done. You're just telling me. You're just telling us.
Well, I just don't feel safe.
You can feel however you want to feel.
John and his brother Vaughn, who also worked at the 3M location in Aberdeen, South Dakota, both say it stems from an incident in 2019 where a noose was hung at a company-sponsored county fair, while co-workers allegedly called them racial slurs and monkeys.
It wasn't a joke. They were doing it as in a very, very demeaning way.
According to the lawsuit, John says the harassment continued at the workplace. And despite reporting the issue, he says it was swept under the rug.
I tried to take every step necessary. I was reporting it to my supervisor. I would even report it to the general supervisors. I reported it to HR. I would even call the police. Nothing was done on anybody's behalf. It was like a game to them, you know. They knew I was being harassed. They knew I was being called an N-word. They knew that I was in a hostile work environment. They knew that these coworkers were trying to assault me at work.
Exclusive audio reveals part of the conversation he had with a superior who he reported the incident to.
You brought this up to us now and don't keep talking about it because we haven't had a chance to talk to nobody.
3M declined our request for interview, but provided this statement instead. Representatives for 3M believe the allegations are misleading and don't tell the full story. They also say during court proceedings, the former workers have, quote, changed their versions of events several times. They go on to say John had a personal financial dispute outside of work with the two people he accuses of harassing him, and add that they have, quote, competing allegations and have accused John Wingo of harassment.
There was a reason they came back to you at work, whether or not
there should never be a reason to call somebody, and there should be never a reason to go out of your department and out of your way to threaten somebody. There should never be a reason for that.
Did you quit or did they terminate you?
I ended up getting terminated.
John claims he was retaliated against when management failed to honor his health accommodations after being hurt on the job.
I tore my labrum in my shoulder. I reported it to my supervisor. I came back with a doctor's note saying, hey, you know, I have restrictions. They did not want to accommodate my restrictions.
And then did you feel like they retaliated against you for reporting that to them?
Yes.
Desiree Holler, one of John's former co-workers, says she witnessed the discrimination.
They were very racist when we worked there. They didn't care that he was called the N-word.
She claims coming forward as a witness snowballed into other issues.
One of the supervisors was hiding behind a machine and watching me.
Be careful.
Okay.
Just know this dude's watching. Let's be careful over there.
Okay. I was even reported for coming back from a break a minute late, just constantly being watched, and it was very uncomfortable.
And she echoes a similar story to John's when it comes to accommodating her while she was pregnant.
He continued to have me lift the heavy rolls. One of them was over 50 pounds, and he told me that I needed to get people from other departments to help me lift the rolls onto the pallet.
Did you feel like that treatment was unfair?
Yes. I told him that it was hurting my back. It was causing contractions.
Desiree says she dealt with that on top of being ignored when trying to advance in the company.
I was told that I wasn't going to be able to because I was a woman. It hurt.
My supervisor of the department, 2000, came around and said that this is not my circus, but you are my monkey. And,
Vaughn also alleges discriminatory hiring practices, saying his race was at the root of a stalled promotion.
I figured if I were to try and work harder, maybe they wouldn't see me, for being black or being a monkey. After a few weeks of asking and checking up and seeing how I was doing, if I needed to do anything better to improve myself, she told me that I wasn't going to be hired because I was a black man.
3M says they investigated all of the allegations from the plaintiffs and others. They said they also vowed to provide an accurate account of the facts in court. However, it's unclear if any of the involved management faced any disciplinary action. How have things been for you since you've left 3M?
Terrible. Terrible.
Now the plaintiffs want the world to know their story and the emotional toll of their experience.
Since everything happened, I didn't want to go back. I had to get a different job, 2 jobs to support my family, and it's just been hard.
There are times where I would cry myself to sleep knowing that I have to get back up in the morning and go through this all over again. It was depressing, it was traumatizing. The experience, wouldn't want anyone to ever go through anything like that or feel that way.
What impact do you hope that this lawsuit will have for future 3M employees?
The impact I hope is, they accept accountability. No one, no matter what race, should have to go through that type of treatment.
I can't see any outcome or better way to get over this. It's gonna last, it's lifelong.
Recently, our newsroom learned that the attorney representing the Wingos and Desiree filed a motion to be removed from the case. We're told a judge will make a decision on that matter within the next 2 weeks. Still ahead, meet the band that's bringing HBCU vibes to the Twin Cities. And later, you're in for a big surprise on this week's Joyride with Ashley Dubose. This commercial break is powered by U.S. Bank's Access Commitment Initiative. U.S. Bank is building Black wealth by uplifting and supporting Black-owned businesses like these.
Papa Legba's Lounge is home to musical legends of the past. Papa Legba offers a place for mature audiences to relax and unwind with signature cocktails inspired by legendary musicians. Papa Legba brings extraordinary soul music to the Twin Cities and provides local talent a platform to showcase their music. Check out our website for weekly performances at papalegba.lounge.com.
TNT Academy is the ultimate performance recovery program focused on football skills training, strength and conditioning, and overall mentorship for young men. With our exclusive training program, you'll learn all the secrets of our top athletes to ensure that you're always one step ahead of the competition. We take an innovative approach to focus on injury prevention. We work with all levels, youth all the way up to the pros. For more information, visit tntacademysp.com.
At Reviving Roots, we celebrate Black joy because the mental health journey can feel overwhelming, difficult, and even shameful at times. Reviving Roots is a Black-centered and Black-affirming holistic mental health and wellness space in the heart of Minneapolis. While we offer mental health therapy, we believe in a holistic approach to wellness, addressing the whole person by providing a variety of tools and resources. We're here to support our community in living their truth. Learn more at www.reviving-roots.com.
Here's the Truth is sponsored by MediaBridge, a media, data, and creative agency who believes the best strategy is to care. For more information, MediaBridgeAdvertising.com. Some people may feel the need to travel far and wide to get that HBCU band experience. But there's a high school band bringing a similar feel right here in the Twin Cities. Today, we take you in the stands with the band known as The Culture. Flavor and passion.
Just the energy of game day is what I live for.
That's what's felt in the band section at several events in the Twin Cities.
Kids are coming around like, oh, I've never heard a band pop like that.
We're gonna show up and we're gonna just completely blow up the stadium with sound.
Yes, I think we are on top. I don't think there's no one better than us.
They call themselves The Culture.
So when people are asking me about it, I tell them, the culture is something you have to experience.
Daniel Felton is a Grammy-nominated music educator and the mastermind behind Tartan High School's concert band.
We have students of all different backgrounds and identities, and so the culture is the students. The culture is how they play, how they move. These kids swag surfing as we playing.
Daniel tells us he's one of only half a dozen Black band instructors in the state of Minnesota.
It's got to change. The main reason why I went into education was to be everything that I didn't get. Being able to see those students look up and say, oh, wow, my teacher's Black. I'm like, yeah, and I'm smart and I'm the best at what I do.
What you're used to was like Star Spangled Banner, the basic stuff. So when I got here and I started playing, like hip hop and R&B and stuff, it was like, oh wow, like I like this kind of music.
We're gonna play all of the standard stuff that you need to know too to move on to the next level, but you're gonna understand this is Blackness, this is Black music, this is Black history, this is Black culture.
He takes pride in teaching fundamentals while infusing his upbringing and background.
Come on, Bones! Come on, let's get it!
You see other schools and they're like all prominently one color, and you come here and it's like, it's a whole melting pot of everyone.
When Mr. Felton first stepped on the scene, he held a large assembly to share his new mission, to revamp the band and make it more of a HBCU style experience.
He gave a whole presentation before the school year started, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing band.
I'm like, we're gonna have one of the best bands in the state of Minnesota. We're gonna bop, we're gonna be known all over.
Honestly, I was all for it. I was ready for something new.
Students are always like, you said all that stuff and we believe you, we just don't know how it's gonna happen. I'm like, leave that up to me.
We all thought he was crazy, but he did it, and we're growing.
I had a student say, the things that we do, I didn't know was possible. I didn't know that we could do that. I'm like, who's gonna stop us?
The culture is making room for a new world of songs.
I just dance. I dance. Like when it's the athletic band season, I dance, I don't conduct. For me, I have to be able to show them the energy that they need to have. And then when they match that, I gotta exceed it, because I still gotta show you the way.
I feed off of the energy of like the person next to me, the person in front of me, and I'm like just, woo, let's go.
Mr. Felton, he's really funny. He reminds me of like an uncle. Like he's really like he makes sure that you're good in every situation that you're in.
A seamless ensemble of joy, support, and a demand for excellence.
Beforehand, before I got here, it was more like I was just practicing and I wasn't going anywhere. But once I got here, I practiced and I actually saw myself getting better. My mom, my family, like, they think it's the best for me. Like, they want me to take this on as my career and get to college with this. It's very fun.
I tell my students day one, I will not teach you like your high schoolers. I will not treat you like your high schoolers. You are a college student the moment you walk in. And so because of that, the students in the band, they know that we're not taught in high school, we're taught in university.
He doesn't want us to be perfect, he wants us to improve, I think. He wants every single moment we're in that room, he wants us to get better by the time we've left the room. And he's really hard on us when we make a mistake.
Great, I'm glad we got that out now. I'm glad we got that out now, so it won't be tomorrow. Every entrance must be strong. Let's get it, band. Let's get it. Come on. Ready. Horns up. 1, 2, ready, up.
I know it's like tough love. It's like, oh, you messed up. You know what you did. Fix it. Don't make it happen again.
I would say drumming is like my first nature, and like everything else comes second.
CJ is one of the lead drummers in the culture.
Just me, and I'm looking at Mr. Felton, and I can hear the people behind me, and that's cool. But it's really just, I'm really locked in. I wasn't used to being pushed to be my best until I got in Minneapolis, and he's continuously like calling me on my phone, telling me, oh, look at this, look at that.
CJ says Mr. Felton took him under his wing and even said yes to switching high schools when he took over at Tartan.
I was always like, if I want to be like that, if I want to get better, then I gotta stick with one of the great mentors that I have.
He believes Mr. Felton's ability to connect with them individually is what harmonizes them collectively.
Working with him is like, it's like playing basketball with my dad. It's like, oh, like, he teaching me things I didn't know, and then like when I'm doing stuff, he's like, oh, that was great. I'm like, thank you. Like that, like he's like my dad of drumming and music and everything like that. So it's honestly an amazing time working with him all the time.
A perfect harmony, fueling them to rock the stands at any venue they grace.
Just like family, we stick together, we make sure everyone's welcomed, feels comfortable.
From Walking In is the best band I've worked with. It's an incredible band, and when they see what they're capable of, I don't see another band in Minnesota being able to play better than us yet.
I just thought we were going to be some band in the middle of Minnesota, but no, we grew, and being a part of that growth is just amazing.
Still ahead, buckle up for a joyride with the soulful Ashley Dubose. She's got a big announcement you'll only find here.
But I know that it can't be real.
It's time for America's promises to Black and brown Minnesotans to be fulfilled. It's time for us to equitably share in the wealth of our nation. That's why the Center for Economic Inclusion was created, to embolden employers to invest in Black and brown-owned businesses and to leverage our talent to bring wealth into our communities. The Center for Economic Inclusion measures what works, and we hold leaders accountable. The time is now. Build with us. Visit us online at centerforeconomicinclusion.org.
3 years ago, COVID-19 forced our entire world to stop. Even as we adjust to a new society, the fight against the virus continues. That's why the Minnesota Department of Health is urging you to get the updated COVID-19 vaccine that's FDA approved. It's specifically designed to combat the latest variants and available for everyone aged 6 months and older. Worried about the cost? Free or low-cost vaccines are available. Just check in with your clinic before scheduling. Don't have insurance? We got you. Just contact your nearest community health center. Corona is still around, so keep yourself and your people safe. Together, we can win this fight.
At Nail Partners, we prioritize people. We understand how real estate can unlock a community's aspirations. From the very beginning of a project to its completion, we create space for collaboration. By bringing people together from all walks of life, we're able to build a shared vision that benefits everyone. Because if we want stronger, healthier communities, everyone deserves a seat at the table. Nail Partners, built for community.
Get your resume ready for the biggest People of Color career fair yet, expanding to the ballroom at the Minneapolis Convention Center to meet the high demand. Over 50 major employers are already committed to be in the room for the best networking and hiring event in town. Will you be there? Get there with ease with your free ride pass from Metro Transit. The People of Color Career Fair is Tuesday, October 17th, presented by Anderson Windows and Doors, U.S. Bank, and Midco. Register today, it's free. peopleofcolorcareerfair.com.
It's just what you do.
A staple singer in the Twin Cities that brings soul to every genre she graces. In this week's Joyride, we hear from Ashley Dubose, who shares how her love for music propelled her onto the national stage. Plus a special announcement you'll only get right here. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. Good to see you too. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
You ready to roll?
Yes, let's go.
You've had like such an amazing career so far, and like the best is yet to come. When you look back on all the things you've done, like what are some of the highlights?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, my career has turned out differently than I dreamt it would look like when I was younger. I always wanted to be like a Beyonce, you know? But I realized that God blessed me with the career that works for me and my personality. If I were to achieve that dream of being like this big star, you know, there's a distance that you have from the audience when you're at that level. And just being like really down to earth, like that's just who I am, is just really girl from around the way. I think one of the biggest things that I'm really proud of, not just being on The Voice, but the fact that when I was on The Voice, it was because I tried out again. I didn't even get through to the televised rounds the first time I auditioned. Just that persistence, and then that was rewarded with, you know, eventually I went all the way to top 32 on the show, and that opened a lot of doors.
So tell me, where are we at and why is it significant to you?
So we are at the St. Paul Jeremiah program campus. I moved in when my daughter was born. I was very nervous about my future because she was about 2.5 weeks old. So this is where I was living when I linked up with Mike Dreams, Lord rest his soul. Oh, I love Mike. I miss him. He got me my first start here in the city, and he would have me come and sing on his music, you know, feature on his music. That's how my name started getting a little buzz before I was on the radio. And so I would drop my daughter off, go to class, go out to Maplewood, record, go back to class. Like in between class, I would be recording, and like this program allowed me to make my first album. Because I had, you know, the child care right on site. I was able to do school, make my album, and have her taken care of here. And then I released that album a day before I graduated from college.
Does your music ever come back and minister to you?
All the time. And if it don't come back to me because I think of it, somebody else will remind me, remember, Ashley? It's okay to be you.
I know, 'cause you've got a heart of gold, but you can't let them feelings show. It's okay to be you. You are different. You ain't like none of them. You got your own swag, your own style.
I wrote it because I needed that message. My music comes from my own experience, and I needed to remind myself that it's okay to be me.
Tell me why this location is so significant to you.
Well, this is my childhood home. This is where I wrote my first songs and recorded myself on the boombox. Back in the day when you could put a cassette in there and press record. My mom raised us on our own, away from family, because we're from Philadelphia. We were very broke, but we had love. I had a great childhood, and she really instilled in us faith. She prayed. We used to like hold hands in a circle. We used to go in and like just be praying. It's my foundation and my comfort and my hope in life. So yeah, this is where I started singing at, and where all my memories and my upbringing and stuff, you know, most of them happen here. So I have not announced this to anybody, but
I won't go ask.
Oh,
I was
really?
Like, you know, I just let her.
Really? Okay, so if you're watching this for the first time, you're probably finding this out for the first time because I haven't announced it to anybody other than close family and friends. Yes, you guessed it. I'm expecting baby number 3.
can't seem to let you go. I just can't let you go. Yeah. And I know that you won't be here for long. It's just what you do. Keep me hanging on, love things. Am I wrong? Cause I know that I want you still. But I know that it can't be real. Ooh, love things. Love things. Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching the Season 2 premiere of Here's the Truth. To support our weekly TV show, head over to georgiafort.com and become a monthly subscriber. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday at 11. Coming up next week on Here's the Truth, community leaders in North Minneapolis are petitioning a liquor store on Broadway in Lindale, how they hope the intersection will be reimagined. And a gladiator who's ministering the word in the octagon.
I always say faith, fitness, and family for me are those three keep me going. And faith is my #1 thing.
Plus, buckle up for a joyride with Maya Marshall.
You know, young women or just black children in general to like take that and just run with it. Like you can do anything you want to do.
Don't miss Here's the Truth, Saturday mornings at 11 on the CW Twin Cities.
Listen up, parents. I'm here to talk about something super important. COVID-19. Bum, bum, bum. Now, I know we'd all like to leave COVID in the past, but it's still here. And if it's still here and you want to keep your kids safe, healthy, and at school instead of home with you got to get us vaccinated. So here's some facts about vax to make it easier for you. COVID-19 vaccines are recommended for all of us starting at 6 months old. Vaccines are super safe and come with few side effects. And the best part, folks, these vaccines are free $99 and you don't need insurance. Visit mn.gov/vax for kids to find out how, when, and where to get your kiddos vaxxed. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thank you. That's all for this episode of Fact Attack. Y'all be safe out there.
Here at BMT, our fellas noticed the common aspiration with our young black boys becoming an athlete. That's why we've rebranded to emulate a sports communication style, with teachers shining as the quarterbacks to their education. We huddle to showcase togetherness, brotherhood, and empowerment. Our kids will get to see BMT men excelling in classrooms and believing they can too. Together, we can portray black male teachers as world champions.
Ten years ago, I chopped off my hair to experience the way it grows out of my scalp. Now, Nature Syrup has moved from my kitchen to the Macy's Marketplace. That's right, you can buy Nature Syrup at Macy's.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, your home for hip-hop and R&B. We the best! Power 104.7, where old school meets new school.